Today, we are going to be talking about booleans. Before we jump right in, let's do a little review of what a boolean is. Remember, a boolean is a type of variable that can only be set to a value of true or false. Let's take a look at what a boolean would look like inside of code. So here's our example, boolean x is equal to true. Let's take a look at each of the parts, break them down, and understand what they mean. The first part, boolean, is telling the computer that this variable is a boolean, and therefore it can only be set to the values of true or false. The next part, x, is the name of our variable, and it can be named whatever you'd like. Following this, we have our equal sign, which sets our variable equal to a certain value, true or false. After this is the actual value that it's equal to, again, true or false. And finally, we have our semicolon, which marks the end of this line of code. Next up, we're going to be learning how to create our own Boolean variables. To do this, we are going to be using repel, so make sure you create a new repel for this and follow along. All right, everyone, so now we are going to be creating some Boolean variables. So let's say I want to create a Boolean variable called female. And I want to set it equal to true. You're always going to start off by typing Boolean, then the name of it, which is female, and then it's going to be set to the value of true. Now the thing is that the word true is not in a set of quotation marks. If it was in a set of quotation marks, then this would have to be a string, not a Boolean. A Boolean basically allows for things to be either true or false. And because a Boolean is not a string, when you type a word true or false, it's not going to be in quotation marks. Now let's make another one. Let's say I want to make a Boolean called dog, and I want to set it to false. Well, I'm going to type in Boolean first because this specifies what type of variable it is. I'm going to name it dog, and I'm going to set it equal to false. I'm going to tack on my semicolon at the end. And lastly, let's say I want to make a Boolean called hat, and I want it set it equal to false. My Boolean hat is equal to false. So this is how you create Boolean variables within your code. Next, we're going to learn how to print Boolean variables. Okay, so if we actually want to print Boolean variables to the screen, or basically the value of Boolean variables to the screen, it's the same way as if, let's say, we wanted to do it for a string or an int or a double. We're going to write out our print statement first, system.out.println, get our semicolon at the end, and then on the inside, all we're going to type is the name of that variable. So if I wanted to print the value of the Boolean variable female to the screen, I would just type in female inside of here, and then for our output, we should get true, because right here, female is equal to true. As you can see, we got the word true. Now, if I wanted to print the value of dog to the screen, we should get the word dog in this case. Now the thing is that with strings, remember how with strings, how you could, connect things like one after the other, concatenate the strings, and remember how with doubles and ints you could add them inside of here and get a combined outcome? Well, the thing is that Booleans behave differently. You can't add the value of one Boolean to the value of another, because the thing is that these are not numbers, so they're not ints or doubles. They're not actual words that can be combined together to form a sentence. A Boolean can only have one value, true or false, and the value of it, true or false, is not a string. And because of that, when you print out the value of a Boolean, you cannot add them together. All right, guys, now it's time for some review questions. So make sure you create a new repel and get ready and write down your answers to each of these questions. Number 1, create a Boolean variable called Sunny and set it equal to false. Pause the video and write down your answer. So if I want to create a Boolean variable called Sunny and set it equal to false, I'm going to type Boolean Sunny is equal to false. So here is the type of variable, the name of my variable, my equal sign, and then the value. So remember, for Booleans, the false and the true, the two possible options that a Boolean can be set equal to, are not going to be inside of quotation marks. The only variable that's going to be set equal to something instead of quotation marks is a string. A Boolean is an entirely different thing. So false is just going to remain just false, plain and simple like this, and true is also going to remain plain and simple. Question number 2, this is the last one for today. So using the answer to the previous question, print the value of Sunny to the screen. Pause the video and do this right now. Okay, so if I want to print the value of Sunny to the screen, I know I'm going to have to use a print statement. So you could either use system.out.println or system.out.print. Both will get you essentially the same outcome. Now, inside of here, all you're going to put is the name of our variable. So the name is Sunny. So if I were to run this code and tell the computer, all right, computer, print out the value of Sunny for me, the computer would spit out the word false over here. So this is how you would print out the value of a Boolean variable. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. And if you would like to continue to learn how to code in Java, click subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.